Okay, there we go. Okay. So really quickly, I'm just going to go over the couple questions, and they're super simple, that I got in the group. And then we can cover anything that you guys have specifically. So first, Stephanie asked, is it best to assign certain containers to each meal, or to try to eat balanced and cross off what you get? So Autumn talks about this a lot in the, which module is it? I've been busting through all the modules again, so they're just like all a blur all together now. But she talks about it all when she's explaining the Pick Your Path module, when she's explaining time nutrition and carb cycling, and then the foundational fix. When she's explaining all of those, she talks about this a lot, because in time nutrition, that's why it's so specific. You have to eat certain containers at certain times of the day, because that's when your body wants those types of macros. But with foundational fix, it doesn't matter as much. Like she just says to try to eat a variety of containers each meal. So instead of having like 3 proteins, like 3 reds and then 2 yellows and a green and then 3 greens, like she wants you to have like a red, yellow, green, purple, yellow, you know what I mean? Like she wants you to try to have some balance if you're doing the foundational fix, so that you are getting some of that macro mix. So that's what I would say to answer that. But this is what I'm going to talk about as far as how to plan it out, because these are the questions that I got on the other post that I did, where they were expressing like kind of feeling overwhelmed with how to plan out your day. So in your workbook, if you guys aren't like digging in deep into your workbook, please use this. It is like such an incredible tool. In your workbook, depending on the path that you're following as far as foundational fix, carb cycling, or timed nutrition, she gives you specific meal plan examples. Okay, so if you're having a hard time mapping out, okay, even if say you're doing foundational fix, and this is why she talks about it in the video, she says, I actually think time nutrition is the easiest, because she does break it down into red, yellow, green, purple, red, yellow. Like, so if you need someone to tell you what to eat, when to eat, that's the plan that you could follow until you really gain some confidence behind it. But it's pretty specific. It's very, very specific. So you're going to have some discipline and some major planning around it, but it's a great plan. For the foundational fix, which is way more free reign, gives you the freedom to choose when you want to eat your foods, how you want to put them together, things like that. Literally, this is what I do. So make sure that you guys are utilizing the food lists. Do not overcomplicate this, okay? Do not try and fit your containers into your normal eating habits. Don't be like, okay, well, I want to make my grandma's casserole. So how can I containerize grandma's casserole? Like, don't do that. You're doing this because you want to change your habits and you want to develop new habits, and you want a simplified way of eating well. Okay, so that is what this is teaching you. And so at the beginning, I still do this. Hello, I'm like super basic. I literally eat whole foods and just keep it simple. If I have a red, yellow, purple, I'm like protein, like carb, veggie. Like I don't try and like make it all complicated. Meat, veggie, carb. Like I'm taking it directly from the food list. So it takes all the guesswork out, and I'm simplifying. If you do want to make a recipe, you guys use the Fix Date cookbook that we got. There's like so many good recipes in there if you are into like complicating things and don't want to be boring. But they're all containerized for you, right? So then if you eat 1 serving or whatever, you know exactly what it is. It tells you at the top, equivalents, a yellow and a teaspoon, a green, red, purple, like it tells you at the top, okay? So especially as you're figuring this out, simplify, keep it super basic. And if you do need to use a recipe, I would use a Fixate approved recipe that's already containerized for you to take the guesswork out. As you go along, like for the rest of forever, obviously you're going to be able to, you're going to be just comfortable enough to be like, okay, I'm having this recipe, and you kind of just like estimate. You're like, okay, I would say this would be a green, a half a yellow, and a red, or whatever, like depending on what it is. And you're going to get to a point where you feel comfortable doing that. But when you're learning and when you're really trying to figure this out, basic is way better. So as you're meal planning, if you do the planning ahead meal plan where you're prepping protein, and then you're prepping some quinoa or brown rice or something for your carb, and then you're prepping and you can portion it out, do that ahead of time if you really need to save time throughout the week. I don't personally do that. I just pre-cut everything. So I pre-cut all my veggies, make sure it's like ready to grab and go. And then I just make sure that I have my plan the day before at least. So what I do, sounds good, Marie. So what I do is I plan backwards. Okay. So I have Shakeology every single day for one of my meals. I either have it for breakfast or for lunch. So I start with planning our dinners. So every single Sunday night, JD and I will get together and we kind of have a planning meeting for the whole week. We map out what we have. We map out when we're going to do our workouts. We map out what he has for his schedule. If like when the kids have activities, there's certain nights when I know I have to have a super quick, ready to go dinner, and other nights we have more time to cook. So I plan accordingly. And then we also map out our dinners for the whole week so that I know I can reverse engineer at that point. So I know what I'm going to have for containers for dinner every single night. And then all I have to do then is put my Shakeology in either breakfast or lunch, depending on when I'm going to have it, and then plan one other meal and then my snack options. So that works the best for me to really simplify, because then I know we try to just do, I personally, when I'm trying to lean out, I try and do no carbs at dinner time, and I try and have all my carbs earlier in the day. And so I'll have usually a red and 2 greens for my nighttime meal. Or sometimes, like depending on what we're having, sometimes we'll have like the sweet potato hash that's super yummy. So I'll plan for a yellow, red, and green. And then I know that throughout the rest of the day is when I need to get in all of my other containers. And I'll plug in my Shakeology meal for the other one. And then that leaves it so simple to know, okay, I got to make sure I get in at least a green and a red for a snack. I need to make sure I at least get 2 purples in, either in my shake or in a snack. And you just learn how to kind of spread it out. Okay. So that's what works the best for me, is starting with dinner and then working backwards, instead of starting your day and eating based off of what you feel like eating. Because if I ate based off of what I felt like eating, I would have all of my carbs right when I wake up. I would have probably a couple reds for lunch and whatever, and breakfast. And then at the end of the day, I would have like orange, blue, 5 greens, a purple, like, and then I'd be like, oh crap, how am I supposed to get this in? You know what I mean? So it just takes kind of some planning and mapping it out, but it is not hard. So for those of you that were like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, I was like, shoot, that is not how you should be feeling. Like, this is a simplified plan. This is teaching you how to eat clean, how to get rid of the processed stuff, and how to do it in a really easy way. But you definitely want to take the time to learn and go through the videos and soak it up and just start to implement. So if you guys need help with the meal planning part of it, where are the pages? Like for Foundational Fix, she gives you some examples. Like on page 90, she gives you a meal plan example for plan B. So she says like breakfast, 2 scrambled eggs, spinach, oatmeal, strawberries, coconut oil. Okay, you're like, oh, I don't like spinach. Fine, put broccoli in there. Oh, I don't like broccoli. Okay, put peppers in there. Like you just swap it out. But you could use this game plan for Monday and Tuesday as a very simple way to then plug in the foods that you want from the list. And also, she talks about this in the videos, but in case you missed it, the food lists are arranged in like best for you to worst. So obviously like turkey bacon, beef broth, like those will still count as a red, but they're not going to be nearly as good as like sardines. Ooh, gross. I would never eat those. But like boneless chicken, turkey, duck breast, like lean meats are going to be at the top. So as you go, if you're finding you're like, well, I'm not really seeing the results I want, or I'm feeling like I'm eating my containers, but I'm still not whatever, look at the foods that you're eating, because if you're eating all of the foods that are lower on the list, maybe just try and shuffle your foods around so that you're eating more high quality foods that are going to be a little better for you, because then that will make a difference for sure. Okay. Are there any other specific questions that you girls have that are on live? It's really just trial.
I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I haven't ordered my stuff yet, but I plan on this week. But I do have a question because I take night classes during the week, and that's when my schedule gets kind of crazy. What suggestions are in there about maybe, because I'm not a breakfast person and I'm working on that, doing Shakeology twice a day for like meal replacements, especially on those nights?
Yeah, so you totally can do Shakeology twice a day. You just want to make sure, like if you're having Shakeology for 2 full meals a day, you've got a whole lot of containers that are also getting filled in somewhere else. So if you are doing Shakeology, make sure you're at least like, you can throw in a cup of spinach or a cup of frozen cauliflower, or obviously some of your fruits. You can get in more of your containers into your shake, so it's not just like, lots of times if I'm having it for a snack, it'll just be a red because I'll just do it with liquid. But if I'm actually having it for a meal, I try and throw in some veggies. I try and throw in a little bit of fruit. I throw in a couple teaspoons of peanut butter to fulfill some of those. So just make sure that if you are having it for a meal, you're adding stuff in so it's a legit meal and not just the Shakeology and liquid. Otherwise, you're going to have a ton of containers to fit in through your snacks and your other meal. But you can totally have Shakeology twice a day. Back when I was doing photography, I would have some really busy nights where I didn't have any time to prepare dinner, and I would grab shake out the door, and it saved me. I was like, this is a game changer, because that was when I was grabbing crap. I had no time, whatever. So that's when I would normally just heat up a burrito or heat up something like super quick. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. So if you are finding that you have a time that you're struggling with throughout the day, plug your Shakeology in there. Like I have some girls that work and they're like, their morning time, I have no time to get the kids off to school and da-da-da. That's when you should have your shake. But lots of people struggle. I have a couple that are like college students, and they struggle at dinner time because they're doing homework, they have late night classes, they have whatever. And I'm like, have your shake at dinner. So it's just going to be different for everyone. But you can totally have 2, Celia. And then I do notice if I have my shake earlier in the day, I notice a night and day difference in my cravings, in my like 5 o'clock like energy slump. I do feel a difference. If I haven't had it yet, I'm like, dude, why am I dragging? What is my deal? I'm like, I haven't even had my shake yet. Oh my crap. It makes such a difference for me. So just be mindful of those things as you're going to, when you feel your best, when you need to eat certain foods, because nutrition is so unique to everyone. We respond differently to different foods. The reason why I don't just like give you my exact meal plan is because I eat certain foods that your body might not love. And like some people can't do broccoli. It bloats you. It doesn't make you feel good. Some people can't do cabbage. Some people can't do grains. And so I don't ever want my challengers and my coaches to be like, well, Mike eats this, so I need to eat this. But I feel like crap. Like nutrition, I want you to feel this program, and the reason why it's so, like, why it's such a game changer is because it's empowering you to learn about it enough to know your body. And that's the importance of the log, the daily log book. Make sure you guys are logging your foods, tracking how you feel, tracking your energy, your mood, so that you can look back at it and measure. Also, like, if you're not weighing in daily, I weigh in daily just to be mindful of what my body's doing. But if at least weigh in weekly so that you can kind of see how the changes your body's making and how you feel. And then look back and see what foods you ate and say, okay, my body responded well to these foods I ate this week. I'm going to do it again, or I'm going to repeat such and such days because that's when I felt my best. Or I felt really bloated. I felt really gassy. I felt really whatever. Let's figure out what foods are doing that to me. Let's figure out, and you only can figure that out by being intuitive and really listening to your body, and then doing the homework of logging your stuff, figuring out what's working and what's not, and then just learning as you go, okay? Are there any other questions? I'm trying to think if I missed any on here. I think I got everything that was in my group. So if you guys don't have any other questions, we will check off of here. And for the live workouts, you guys, I believe, I'm still trying to figure it out for sure. I believe they're going to be live streamed at 9 o'clock Pacific time, which would be 10 o'clock Mountain time, 11 Central, 12 Eastern. And I know that's like middle of the day for a lot of people. So if that is the case and you can't get on live, just be a day behind. So once it's streamed live, there should be a link or something to access it in the nutrition tab where your Ultimate Portion Fix videos are. The workouts are going to pop up there, okay? As far as I know. So once they're up, they'll be there forever. So if you're a day behind, or if you need to like do one nighttime workout to get it in tomorrow, I would just be a day behind if you were not going to be able to be on live. And then you can just continue with your morning workouts from there on out. But those start tomorrow. So she'll do 21 live streamed workouts starting tomorrow. And then there'll be a week off. And then she'll do 21 days of 21 Day Fix Extreme live streamed workouts. So if I hear any differently, I'll let you girls know for sure. But as far as I know, in the nutrition tab, where all of your videos are for the UPF, and they will start tomorrow at 9 Pacific. Okay? All right. I will see you girls back in the group. Have a good Sunday. See ya.